we keep hearing everywhere at the time the president speaks, he blames President Bush. You know, or he's giving an apology, blames him for national security, relationship with Muslim countries, the economy, blame. But I see you brought your whiteboard back with you as it relates to the stimulus and the economy.
Right.
And you have chronicled in your columns all the broken promises, how we can't trust their rhetoric. So so what is your latest analysis?
Well, look, first, the statement that you opened up with I thought was particularly egregious, where you talked about the people don't have shame for taking the responsibility. I would remind you that one of the first acts of Senator Barack Obama when he came to the United States Senate in 2005 was to sign on to Chris Dodd's filibuster of the reforms that were going to rein in Fanny and Freddie. And that was one of the first things he did, was stand in the way of reining in the abuses of Fanny and Freddie. And over the next 3 years, they went out and bought literally trillions of dollars of mortgage paper, facilitating the liar loans and the other unsavory practices that turned a mild hiccup in the economy into a worldwide disaster. So if there's somebody who ought to have shame about their actions and contributing to the economic plight of America, it ought to be every member of the United States Senate, including the President of the United States, who was then in the Senate, who stood in the way of progress and of reform and of regulation of these out-of-control government-sponsored enterprises. And then I loved his comments today about the economy. You're right. Here's the whiteboard. I checked the website today. $67.4 billion is all that has been spent as of today out of the $787 billion stimulus package. That's 8.5% of the total. If we've gotten the economy going again by spending $67.4 billion, why did we have to appropriate $787 billion? Yeah, and the other thing is, I love how they keep talking about these shovel-ready projects. Americans probably don't know that 5% of the total stimulus is devoted to infrastructure. The rest of it is not. Only 5% of the total amount of spending is devoted to those so-called shovel-ready projects. A pittance. And remember this: they said if you do nothing, unemployment is going to be 8% if we do nothing. Well, it's 9.5% after doing this. Now, I grant you that the economy is going to heal itself, but let's not kid ourselves. Yeah. No country has spent its way to prosperity. This is a spending program, not a stimulus program. It is an attempt to buy off liberal legislators by letting them have their fondest liberal spending programs put into law.
Right, Karl,
and it is not stimulating the economy.
All right, last question. We see the declining poll numbers. We see the declining support on Obamacare. We see that the stimulus isn't working, as your board rightly points out. He's involved in this situation with this professor in Harvard. You know, what are your thoughts on that? Why is he declining? What mistakes is he making? What advice would you give him if you were in the White House with him?
Well, I think the key to all of this is that he has overpromised and underdelivered, starting with the economic stimulus. The Battleground poll came out today, and 33% of the American people think the economic stimulus program is working. 61% don't. All the rest of these things, as people see what he is proposing on health care, what he's done on the stimulus, when they see the gigantic amount of red ink, it undermines their confidence in the ability to handle the economy and thence to handle health care and all these other big challenges. They're doing too much. They're not shooting straight with the American people. They're over-promising and under-delivering, and they're trying to sneak things by. When you pass a stimulus bill nobody's read, people remember, and next time around, they're a little bit more reluctant to support you when you try and pull the same stunt again.
All right, Karl, good to see you. Appreciate it. I'm going to talk about the president's science czar and whether or not these cuts to the budget are real, and the very latest on, yes, Barack Obama